time to tackle discs 7 and 8 of the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. This is the live in Utrecht, I think I'm pronouncing that right, part of the review for Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. I love you all, and I would love it if you guys did that. We're going big in 2021. I have a lot of stuff on the horizon there, and I want you to be there. Make sure you subscribe. So this is video 6 of this review, and oh my gosh, this live in Utrecht, CD 7 and CD 8. This is a huge one for me. One of the things that I like to, preface everything with when I talk about Sign of the Times is that I got into Sign of the Times through the movie first. So listening to the movie and hearing those versions of the songs, they're live, they're bigger than life, and they're amazing. And then I heard the album of Sign of the Times, and I'm like, yeah, these are the same songs, but in the studio, they feel so much more contained. And
there's a brand new groove going round in your fucking town.
That's why I love this live version here. One of the things too is that I have taken, a recording from the movie, but it just doesn't sound right. Like the movie sound, it just doesn't translate well to just listening to it normally. I don't know why. If it sounds fine when I'm listening to it on the TV, but whenever I put it, like I've dragged the audio and cut it up and made separate tracks myself, it just never sounded right. But with this live in Utrecht, it's amazing because I actually do now have basically, because it's not exactly the same, a live recorded that has been mastered and everything for recording of a Prince live performance of the Sign of the Times shows. And honestly, for the large part of this, if you have seen the concert movie, the Sign of the Times concert movie, and you enjoyed it, then you're going to probably enjoy this. It's a lot of the same track order. They go from Sign of the Times to Play in the Sunshine, Little Red Corvette, Housequake, Girls and Boys, but so it is basically the same, but they do throw, obviously, because with the movie, they wanted it to be all just the Sign of the Times, but, since this is Prince is going to throw in some of his other favorite songs. So it does go Girls and Boys, then to Slow Love, and then a separate kind of interlude. It's different than the one that was on the concert, and then I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man, Hot Thing, then drum solo and everything, bunch of solos and stuff, same thing as the movie, but different song. If I Was Your Girlfriend, Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, 1999, Forever in My Life, Kiss, The Cross, It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night. That's all the songs that you get, and it's awesome to see the fact that he's like, well, I want the most that I can get out of Sign of the Times, but really want to play Kiss too. So he did obviously throw in Girls and Boys, Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, 1999, Kiss. Those are the ones that are non, Sign of the Times songs. I kind of just want to basically, I guess, just talk about the differences that I hear when I'm listening to this one versus the movie. So one of the main things, honestly, for me was honestly the instrumental, in between parts, because they were very kind of different, and I don't know if I liked them better or if I didn't like them as much because they were new and I've heard the other ones so many times, but I don't know, it was less engaging. It did feel more like, hey, this is so that Prince can rest his voice and get some water. So we're playing here, as opposed to really feeling like, a big part of the show. So, that's just me. And talking about kind of the sound, I noticed that wherever the mics were, I think that they did their best to master this and mix it the way that they could. But wherever they had the microphones that were recording the show, because they obviously didn't have them on the individual, instruments and whatnot. I don't think so, at least. But I feel like there are some instruments that kind of get lost because they're maybe farther away from the mic or whatever, and then some instruments are being highlighted a lot. Obviously, and this is the same thing that I said about the actual album, but Eric Leeds' sax right in your face. And even Atlanta Bliss's trumpets is a little bit back, even though like usually they were standing together, but also sometimes they were standing on opposite sides of the stage. And when that happened, it's probably why you couldn't hear Atlanta Bliss as well. The bass line wasn't as prominent, and with Prince songs, you want that bass line to be prominent. So it did feel like that was kind of lacking. And even just Prince's singing, like sometimes it was much lower than the rest of the music. So you could hear the guitar and you could hear the drums, you could hear the sax, you could hear those things really, really well. Keyboards were kind of somewhere in the middle, but it just seemed to me that like, I feel like it could have been mixed better. But also, it's still an amazing show. Like, I really, really enjoyed listening to this. I feel like the big highlight for me from this album was the finale, the It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night. That's already an example of how Prince could command his band, like, on the stage, and how he gives cues and whatnot and makes them part of the song. But you really see it in this cut of It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night, because when he says hit me in the back, that sends them onto a certain part of the song, you know, like that part. And then he goes, "Hey train," you know, but in this cut, like in the movie, like they do all the pieces and then it moves on, you know, and that's the end and they move on to the cross. But in this one, he says, "Hit me in the back," and they do it again, and he goes, "Hit me in the back again." And he goes, and then he lets him go and he says, "Hey train," and then he goes, "Hit me in the back again." And I could feel the frustration of the band in what they were playing. It felt like almost, it felt punitive. It felt like, I don't know, Prince was mad at them or something, and he was just like, "Hit me in the back again, hit me in the back." So that would be the highlight, I think, for me. I think the low light for me, I mean, despite the instrumentals that you can take or leave those, but I feel like Let's Go Crazy. Let's Go Crazy. Let's Go Crazy is a weird song because it is an amazing song that feels so right sometimes, and then other times just doesn't sound right. And I feel like Let's Go Crazy, being one of my favorite songs, it just didn't sound right in this performance. So, I mean, it didn't sound bad, but it just was off. And it definitely was not like a high point in the concert. And it's right like smack dab in the middle, so like, I don't know, he had to play it because it's Let's Go Crazy. So they're like, well, let's just put it after If I Was Your Girlfriend, and then we'll go into When Doves Cry after it. And then that'll cover up the fact that, I don't know, it just don't sound right. That's just my own personal ear. I actually did like the take on 1999 here, which I also normally don't like live. I'm not actually a big fan of 1999 live. I like the album recording. So that's the thing, right? Is that when you take songs that were meant for live, like the Sign of the Time stuff, and you put them in a studio, then they don't sound right. They sound bigger and full of life live. But then there's also songs that were written in the studio and were intended for studio, and then when you play them live, they don't sound right. They don't sound as good. And honestly, I feel like that's basically what this concert is. It's a live performance where half of the songs feel so at home live, and the other half of the songs feel, good live. They're good. I mean, and I'm talking some of like Kiss and When Doves Cry and Purple Rain and like Let's Go Crazy, and like those songs should just sound amazing, but they don't sound all that great on here. Girls and Boys, I feel like, skirts that line, and And I don't know if this is because, you know, the Revolution and the Extended Revolution, which then became the Lovesexy band, half of them were around Girls and Boys time. So like they knew the song better, or like that was part of their sound, or I don't even know why, but Girls and Boys seems to escape the issue that I had with some of the other ones. I don't actually know why. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the live in Utrecht CD 7 and 8 of the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I want to continue the discussion about like what we think were the good songs and all that stuff. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. Also, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. Check out the links in the description to either become a patron or a YouTube member. And otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. I love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll be talking about the live DVD.